everyone! Today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm going to show you a full project. Now you guys like the random pictures of beads and end products that we put up, but we thought it would be nice to show you how to make something. So today we're going to make crystal angel pendants using really nice American-made pewter beads and Swarovski crystals. This little angel is always super popular at Christmas time for obvious reasons, but it's also kind of a great just because gift. It's kind of just like, hey, I'm thinking of you. I think maybe an angel might be helpful in your life right now. Things like this make great little zipper pulls, or hang it over your rear view mirror in your car. I mean, there are kind of endless options once you make this little pendant. So I've laid out all our pieces here to show you what it is that you'll need for this project. We're going to use a head pin. And I've picked out one with a ball end, but if you really want to, I think we'll let it slide if you want to use one with a flat head. Then we're going to use an 8 by 12 millimeter Swarovski drop. This one is clear with the AB coating to give her a lot of sparkle and shimmer. And it's also drilled straight through the center. Let's see, can we get that in focus? Straight through the center. That way we can put it on our head pin. If you have one that's drilled across this way, that's top drilled, and it won't really work for our setup here. We also have our angel wings. We have these in a lot of different colors. You can make pewter. This is the pewter color, but we've got gold and copper, brass, and gunmetal if you want to make a little bit darker of an angel. 6 millimeter crystal Swarovski sphere. This matches our drop, so it's clear with the AB coating. A little daisy spacer in the size that fits with this, so a 6 millimeter daisy spacer for a 6 millimeter crystal. That makes our little halo. And then we're also going to put our whole setup on a bail. Now, if you really don't like using bails, then I guess I can't fault you. You could always make your wire wrap loop big enough to fit over top of whatever it is that you're planning on putting your piece on. But this is a really great way to make a finished pendant and to make it not look quite as handmade. You know, this is a piece that sort of makes an impact, and then you see the angel and you barely see the wire wrap in there. So, to get started, first we need our head pin. We're going to stack all 4 of these pieces onto our head pin first. So we start with our crystal drop all the way down, our wings all the way down, our crystal for the head, there we go, and okay. So now that we have all of our beads on our head pin, now we're going to do our wire wrap, this little loop with these coils above the daisy spacer and on the bail. That's what's going to hold everything onto our bail here. And the wire wrap is amazing because it is just a totally secure way to hook something up and know that it's not going to just get yanked off if you get it stuck in something. It's not like a jump ring where it can just be pulled open. So we're going to start using a pair of chain nose pliers. These are flat jewelry pliers that have a pointy tip. Makes it easy to get into small spaces. The jewelry pliers are always going to be polished on the inside, so you don't want to use pliers from the hardware store for this. And we're going to grab our head pin just above our halo with the tip of our pliers. If we go too far into our pliers, we're going to have a huge gap here to try and wrap up with our wire. We want it to be pretty low profile because the bail is going to take up some space too. So we just take one finger and we push our head pin away against our pliers, and when we take it off, we'll have a nice little right angle. Now we're going to take a pair of round nose pliers. These look super similar to the chain nose. People get them confused all the time, but you're looking at two little cones basically. And this is what's going to make our loop. So we grab right on the corner. We kind of have our pliers at a bit of a 45-degree angle here, not straight up and down and not parallel to the ground either. And then we're going to take one finger again and push that wire up against our pliers and back down until we bump our nose. So we've run into the nose of the pliers. We call that bumping our nose because this next little section is really not the most intuitive thing. So we want you to remember, bump your nose, flip your hand. We're going to bump our nose. And now we can't go any further. We want to wrap this tail around the top rung of our pliers, but the bottom rung is in the way. So we hold on to our angel, loosen our grip on our pliers, and flip so that the bottom jaw comes on top. And now we can keep pushing this tail against our pliers so we end up with a loop. If we hold our angel in our right hand and take a look, it should look like a little letter D. We've got a loop and a long tail that sticks straight up. And now, this is the point where you need to be careful. You need to make sure everything is attached before we do our wrap, because if you wrap now, you'll be sad you won't be able to hook your bail on. So what we do is we take the tail of our wire here, slip our bail right onto it, slide it down. Sometimes you'll have to open up your ring just a tad to pop the bail into that ring. So now we have our bail looped onto here, our little wire tail sticking up, and we are ready to wrap it up. Now we're ready to wrap it up. We're going to take a pair of bent nose pliers. These are super similar to the chain nose pliers, only obviously different in a certain particular way. These have a very nice bent nose. In general, when we're using bent nose pliers, we're almost always going to use this curved part. We don't do a lot of grabbing with the tip. Mostly these pliers are set up this way because it keeps your hand out of the way while we're wrapping. So I'm going to use that curved part I was just talking about to grab just the loop that I've made. My bail should dangle freely off of my little loop here, and I should have some space here where I can wrap up my wire. So your left hand holding on to this loop here, its whole job is to just hold on for dear life. We're going to take our chain nose pliers again, grab the end of our wire here, and just wrap towards us. You can adjust as needed. Everything's kind of in your way, so you can kind of move away from it and go back to the spot. There's almost no messing up to the point of being unable to fix your wire here. I'm just gonna get one more wrap here. You really want to fill this space between the loop and your daisy spacer here. You don't want your beads to slide up and down on your wire. See, these are pretty nice and snug. They'll still spin a little bit, but if they can slide, that just wears down on your pieces so much faster. Every single moving piece on a piece of jewelry is a point where it could rub down eventually, wear down, or get weak. So now the last thing to do, we're just about done. We just have to get rid of this little wire tail here. So we're going to take a pair of flush cutting pliers. They have a flat edge here. We're going to put that flat edge against the wraps that we just made with the tail of the wire sticking up through our cutters. Put our thumb on the wire while we cut, and just give it a little check. Make sure that tail isn't sticking out somewhere it can poke someone, and then you're all done. You've finished your tiny little angel. You can put her on a chain, on a piece of leather. Do just about anything you like here now that she's completed. And you can make this whole setup with stuff from our shop. Just stop in and say, hey, I saw the YouTube video, I thought that was great, and I'll get you all fixed up. Thanks.